Hey kids, do you like danger? Well, today we're going to get a little dangerous. That's right, we'll be reading the most dangerous book in the world, Philosophy of the Future by Jason Reza Georgiani, who is a controversial figure, to say the least. Nonetheless, he has some ideas which are worth exploring, and I do believe can be highly esoteric food for us occult philosophers. Now, what is this book? This book is a condensation or a distillation of Georgiani's entire philosophy into just a few chapters. Quite the ambition, but it makes the perfect intro or taster to see if you'll like the feel of his other works. Let's jump right into it. The Spectral Revolution is an idea that strikes at the core of certainty within the hard sciences. We think that science describes reality, wherein in fact, our research and how we set it up and interpret the results are already bound by assumptions within a paradigm. We are forced to fit everything arbitrarily into a reductionist mechanistic model. According to Georgiani, what we really need are multiple ways of seeing the world, multiple tools, multiple different paradigms. Instead of having these different ideas and paradigms compete, where we're forced to arbitrarily throw other models away, what you do really is devise a way to move back and forth between different ways of seeing the world to solve different problems. So it's not just this one paradigm above all else. You have a spectrum of paradigms. To do this, though, one revolutionary thing must occur, and that is the reorganization of the sciences. In other words, instead of having physics or maybe math at the top, instead you shuffle everything around until psychology is at the top. Imagine trying to sell that one to the Academy. Now, you may be thinking, isn't this all just William James pragmatism with extra steps? Here's where things get interesting. You see, the Spectral Revolution also includes specters. Basically what I mean is that Georgiani has room in his philosophy for all things occult. And I personally gotta respect that. Because you know how most philosophers deal with the occult?
Why are you running? Why are you running?
Yeah. How Georgiani tackles this is refreshingly sober. He's not all, oh, let's just all hold hands and sing Kumbaya and we'll ascend to the fifth dimension. No. He actually engages with the implications of these ideas. What would happen if you had past lives? How would that affect capitalist society or the judiciary system? What happens to public privacy when everyone has telepathy? What happens to crime with telekinesis? Wouldn't everything become untraceable crime? He actually engages and asks questions, respect. And just for this chapter alone, I would recommend all occultists buy and read this book. Being bound for freedom. In this next chapter, we start off with a little bit of wordplay. After all, having being bound and freedom together makes it sound like a contradiction. Like, how can you be bound and free at the same time? But really, what he's doing is he's laying down his argument for free will. He's not saying absolutely everyone has free will, nor is he saying free will doesn't exist. He's saying free will exists and you don't have it. It's an interesting idea. He basically synthesizes a bunch of different sources. He pulls from William James, he pulls from Heraclitus, Nietzsche, Charles Fort even gets a mention. And he talks about a teleos having a purpose-driven existence. He talks about parallel dimensions, conscious intentionality, even his own art theory gets kind of worked in here. It's a really interesting chapter, and it does make you think who is free, really? Who can withstand the terror of being truly free? Perhaps only those who can become co-creators of new worlds. Now, I don't just want to go through and spoil this entire book, so I'll just include these next 3 ideas as one. That is, world state of emergency, destructive departure of worldview warfare, and phenomenal authorization, one of my favorite chapters. All of these ideas are interlinked. You know, what constitutes the true sovereign power of a civilization? What are the mytho-folklorish foundations of a civilization that makes up and constitutes its psychic anatomy? And who truly has the authority to authorize an authorship of a new novel framework for a new civilization? Indeed, this is what I believe Giorgiani's true project is. He's trying to create a new civilization. And to create a new civilization, this happens in 3 stages or groups. The first group comes and clears the area. The second group comes and builds infrastructure. And the third group is then the new population that arrives from, beyond the horizon to the new world. Giorgiani, I believe he sees himself as this kind of vanguard, and his philosophy of the future is this dynamite that will clear the way for what is to come. And I think nothing makes that more apparent than the next and final chapter. Eros Sophia. In this chapter, Giorgiani gives it all away. He goes beyond a mere philosopher and temporarily becomes a poet. Basically, he starts by talking about the thinker George Bataille, who mentions...
Mr. Pop.
I love you.
New architectonic foundations in the consciousness of a people requires something more than mere philosophy. It requires something entirely new, something dangerous, something called Eros Sophia. In the end, whether you find these ideas enlightening or not, I hope at the very least I've piqued your interest. This book, as you can see, is barely over 100 pages. Look how thin that is. And it's accessible even to a dummy dum-dum like me. Please give it a shot. Buy the book if you haven't already. There should be an affiliate link in the description, I hope. Or if not, you can also support the channel via PayPal or the Ko-fi account, if you so choose. There's also perks for YouTube members. There's a secret Telegram chat room where you can talk to me directly if you wish. Other than that, please remember to like and subscribe, and thank you all for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye.